Hello, welcome to another random episode about Vanguard. Now, I was gonna do the obligatory, let's talk about a new card today, blah 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 blah, but I decided to talk about another thing, which is which card would you rather run instead. Now, the two cards I'm going to be mentioning is Revenger Dragruler Phantom from Booster Set 15, coming out very soon in Japan, and the Revenger Raging for Dragon coming out in English very soon. February is like the month of trading cards, man. Yu-Gi-Oh!, Primal Origin, Vanguard. Okay, anyways. I'm just going to be quickly talking about, not really quickly, but I'll be discussing which of the two fits your needs, what is the pros and cons, and why would you run either card. Because it is now quite the debate, because it's not like Alfred and Garmor, where you would pick Alfred because Garmor is terrible. These two cards are actually extremely interesting, and they both have extremely powerful effects, and could be wielded in very strange situations. So it's really hard to tell which one is better. So I'm here to tell you guys which one could be your decisive monster that you can use, or unit, or whatever you want to call it. Now, quick disclaimer, this is opinion based. There's not a true better one, because they're just both really good. But one might fit your playstyle, so one might be better for you, and one might be not better for you, so you'd run obviously the better one for you. So, but because this is Vanguard, where luck factor happens a lot, I can't really say which one is completely better. But for the most part, they're both really good. And I'm just here to clarify on some things where people would be like, oh, Raging Form's super better than Draggulord, man, this card sucks. So yeah, this is what this video is for, because I'm really sick of people saying, oh, Raging Form is better than Dragruler, why would you run Dragruler? Dragruler is terrible, blah 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 blah. So, let's get down right to it. But before I begin this video, I'm going to talk about the anime episode that just came out on Saturday, okay? Now, it's Ren versus Kai, and if you haven't watched the episode yet, watch it now. If you haven't, if you did, then keep on watching this video. So anyways, what happens is Ren rides Dragruler Phantom, and he does the damage, right? Because that's what Dragruler Phantom does. And Kai lives through it, okay? And during Dragruler Phantom's attack, Ren twin drived another Dragruler Phantom. So I saw a post in my locals that said, if that was Raging Form Dragon, he would have won. Because, you know, Dragruler Phantom would have, well, not Dragruler Phantom, but Raging Form Dragon instead would have been able to restand and have another attack, which would have killed Kai, almost guaranteed, because he only had like, what, 3 cards in his hand? So, yeah, in that situation, yes, Raging Form Dragon would have won. But let's look at the other side, okay? Kai locked 5 units, he attacked with the verse 3 times. Now, during the third attack, Ren didn't have a perfect guard. He didn't play one the entire game, yet Kai had a quintet wall, which might as well be a perfect guard. So, in the anime, it's not really obvious which deck is better through the anime because it's scripted. Kai's obviously going to win because of plot armor. But, true, if he had Raging Form, he would have won. But, in my opinion, I think Dragruler would have been just fine too. Especially since he doesn't have to waste 3 units, and he gets to have a perfect guard if he had one. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get one. He even broke Road. Deck thinned his Blaster Dark. And not Blaster Dark, Masquerade. Or Blaster Dark, both of them, yeah. And he still didn't get a perfect guard out of all those cards. Weird, huh? But plot armor, can't be helped. If he had a perfect guard, then that would have been like game, but didn't happen, so whatever. So, the anime is like whatever, right? Dragruler Phantom is still a good card. The anime was just like, hey, this card's terrible, let's make it lose. Whatever. I mean, look at the first season. The End died of Phantom Blast Overlord, and it's obvious the End is the better deck over the Phantom Blast Overlord. Not saying Phantom Blast Overlord is terrible, because I run it, but the End is pretty good in general, because Kagros is good. So, moving on from anime, now we're going to talk about the actual discussion with these two cards. Now, this is going to be like a pro-con format, and I'll just tell you my opinion. And, yeah, so that's how it's going to go down. First of all, Dragruler Phantom, because it's the newer card. Dragruler Phantom is the cross-ride to Mordred Phantom. If you hadn't already guessed, it should be obvious. But since Mordred Phantom himself is already a very good break ride, this cross-ride is actually very good because the break ride is good. So it automatically makes Dragruler Phantom great because the predecessor is good. Because there's some crossfight decks where the predecessor sucks, so the overall deck is terrible. But since Mordred Phantom is good, Dragruler Phantom is even better. So that's why Dragruler Phantom's the thing. And he's a crossfight, so he's a 1300, and I love crossfights, so he gets an A+ from me. And his second effect is really interesting. It's one of a kind. No one else has it yet. So during your main phase, okay, this is not during the battle step. This is the main phase. You can counter +1, sack 2 Revengers, and then plus 10,000. So it's gonna be a 23,000 or 33,000 if it's your break right turn. And then you deal 1 damage if your opponent's damage is not 5 or more, or 4 or less, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, this is really good because if you break right first and they're at 3 damage, you would want to activate the effect so that they're susceptible to perfect guards. If this happens really early game and they don't have that perfect guard and you crit them, then that's a really easy win because you just destroyed them in that 1 crossfight turn. I mean, usually when you break right for the first turn, your opponent did not break right yet, meaning they're probably at 3 damage or something, right? As long as you didn't aggro them or something. But since Draggulord Phantom gives that extra sweet damage, he does, you know, they're now susceptible to getting the crit to the death. So Dragruler Phantom can get the job done during that ride turn, especially since they're going to have to deal with a 33,000 plus attack. If they don't have the perfect guard at that time, they're most likely going to lose because you're always going to run a crit. So that's a thing, right? Yeah, so 13,000 does a damage, really amazing ability. I mean, they can still damage trigger, but hey, free damage, okay? I mean, even if they get like a critical trigger or a hero trigger or something, they're still gonna, you know, eat 33,000. That's not an easy number to guard in general. And lastly, Mordred Phantom Cross Break Ride. Mordred Phantom's a good card. You search Blast of Dark, search over Max Grade, whatever. Search for a card, really good effect. 1 counterblast, very good in general. Now, moving on. Raging Form Dragon. My hand is getting tired. Raging Form Dragon. He's an 11,000, not a cross ride, but his effect makes it up more worthwhile. And the reason why people run Revengers today. Raging Form Dragon's effect is when during the battle step, when this unit finished attacking, if you have another copy of Raging Form Dragon in your hand, you can sack 3 Revengers and then ride the Raging Form, and then that Raging Form gets plus 10,000. So the scenario would be you call just like 3 petty monsters like Draw Trigger, Dark Bond Trumpeter, and like Masquerade Grade 1 or something. You do like a mini attack with those 2, and then you attack with the Raging Form Dragon. And then after you twin drive, whatever, then you just restand with plus 10,000, which is really good in 11,000 format because you're 21,000 and you deck again. It's one of the few rewriting Vanguards, or not rewriting, but restanding kind of sort of, that gets power through its effect. So it's a pretty neato card in general, right? And you only get a sack 3. I mean, that sounds kind of heavy, but since you can play anything from draw triggers to weak grade 1s to grade 3s even, then it ends up being worthwhile, and being able to restand and draw 2 is amazing. So, and you don't have the counterblast, so that benefits from Revenger deck as a whole, because grade 2s and the grade 1s, they all counterblast a lot. Kind of what Shadow Paladins do in general. So this helps benefit Revengers as a whole and allows, you know, Raging Form to do its thing. I mean, you know, Dragruler is counterblast 1, which is, you know, kind of cheap, but hey, 0 counterblast is also cheaper even. So there's that. And then his second effect is when he declares attack counterblast 1 plus 2,000. So if you're fighting a counterblast, you just have to burn off a counterblast to, you know, to actually hit the guy. But hey, that's, you know, it's nice they did that, because you just be like, attack for 18 and then attack for 23. Easy enough, right? So those are the 2 cards, Dragruler Phantom and Raging Form Dragon. Now, here's the debate, okay? Which one is better, right? Now, Dragruler Phantom is a cross ride, okay? Which makes him automatically awesome, in my opinion. And he has the ability to do 1 damage, which is one of the few cards that can do it. Isn't actually lied. It's the only card that can do that. So it has a unique ability, only exclusive to his clan, for a cheap cost, and benefits the deck well, especially since Mordred Phantom is amazing. But then Raging Form Dragon is, you know, you don't have the counterblast, and then it's during the battle phase, unlike Dragruler Phantom. So the retiring the units won't really affect you until the next turn. But then when you do that, you want to kill them during that turn. So, like, why bother, right? That's kind of the thing that Raging Form is going through, is that you want to kill them that turn. So that's why Raging Form is good, because it has like that final turn push. Unlike Dragruler, which is just like, dunk! Oh, you perfect guarded. Well, dang it. But hey, at least I did the damage to you, right? Woo! So, so anyways, Dragruler Phantom cons is the fact that he has to do it during the main phase. So, you know, you have to replace the units that you sacked. It could be draw triggers, but the fact that you have to replace them. So, you have to worry about it now. Whereas, Raging Form Dragon, you can worry about it later. Because if you kill them that turn, then you kill them. And life as well, and stuff. See? That kind of thing. But, on the other hand, Dragruler is only 2 cards with 1 counterblast, so they can run cheaper stuff, like, you know, just, you don't have to run counterblast heavy stuff, whereas Raging Form, he has to, and he's susceptible to cross rides, so he's always going to have to pay that 1 counterblast every stupid turn, and it's like, gosh, darn it, my counterblast is dying, so, there's that also. Can't be helped. And, lastly, is the fact that, you know, Dragruler Phantom can't really do much. I mean, after the opponent's at 5 damage, all you're going for is the plus 10,000, which is really good for the record. I mean, back at Phantom Blaster Dragon days, you had a Counterblast 2 to sack 3 for plus 10,000 and a crit. I mean, the crit kind of didn't matter late game, but whatever, right? And then Phantom Blast Overload was Counterblast 3 Persona Blast. I mean, that was even, like, heavier, whereas, you know, Raging Form is sack 3, Counterblast 1, but you can just play 3 draw triggers and you don't give a damn, so it's like, what the heck, right? So, they're both really good in their situations, and it just goes to, like, to the end, it just depends on the player preferences, and to see which one is better. I mean, in my opinion, I think Dragruler Phantom is better, due to the fact that he's a cross ride to a really good unit, and he can do a damage, so he has a really strong play. But, hey, Raging Form is also really good, because it's during the battle phase, so you don't have to worry about it till later. It's the fact that you don't have to worry about it that makes it really good, and he resupplies himself with his own power. So, it's a really hard call. If you want to build Raging Form Dragon, I would say you can. I mean, it's a good card. It's been winning a lot, so why not? But, I'm going to go with Dragruler Phantom, because he's a 13, making him already really good, especially in cross-break format. He gets plus 10,000 with counterblast 1 and 2. Units. I mean, that sounds heavy, but hey, Phantom Blast over Dragon and Phantom Blast Overload is worse, so I like Dragruler Phantom. And yeah, Mortar Phantom is also really good, and Revengers as a deck as a whole is also just good in general, so pick your poison, you know? Dragruler Phantom or Raging Form Dragon. Right? So, on that note, yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess. I'm grateful. This is my thinking cap, because I had to think a lot, because it's a hard debate, you know? Dragulord Phantom and Raging for Dragon, they're both excellent units. It just depends on which one you think is better, and which one you think is the proper format, right? That's all there is to it. So, yeah. That's it, I think? Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. 13-minute video. Well then.